I'm Daniel Roth. I'm the executive editor of LinkedIn. I'm thrilled to have with us today Suze Orman, the world's most influential personal finance expert. Suze, thanks for being here. So let's talk a little bit about you and your career. I think that if you look at how people expect to succeed today, you hear a lot of millennials especially talking about the rise of the top wanting to be famous. You had a relatively late introduction to the world. Even at 29, you were making $400 as a waitress. Will you talk about how your kind of late arrival to fame has helped shape you?
You know, I'm not sure fame or arriving at fame has helped shape me at all. What shaped me is my interactions with people and my true desire to want to help people. You know, I'm known as the money lady, but the object was never to make a lot of money. The object was always to help people. What shaped me is that as the years went on, and I realized that it was far better to do what was right than to do what was easy. It was far better to tell somebody the truth than to tell them a lie just because I would make more money. So those experiences shaped me.
I'd love to talk to you about how you work. I read in a LinkedIn post that you have never, ever multitasked.
Yes.
Or that you at least never, ever multitask now. How is that possible? We all multitask.
Well, you can ask the people who are around me and they will tell you that I don't. When I'm on my little iPhone, that is all I am doing. I do not bring my, all right, do I have my iPhone on me right now?
You don't appear to.
I do not have my iPhone on me right now. Do I care what's happening anywhere other than here right now? I don't. So when I write a book, all I do is write a book. I will take a month and a half off and I will do 20, 24 hours a day and I will just write a book. So I do many things in one day, but I only do one thing while I'm doing it.
And is that what everyone should do? Is that a recipe that everyone should follow?
Oh, I think absolutely. I think multitasking is the ruination of perfection. You sit there and you're on a conference call while you're typing emails to somebody else, and you're not typing a great email. You're not really listening to what the people are saying. So you're giving 50% to two things. You have to give 100% to everything you do. You have to be laser focused. You have to have your intention set right there, and you need to go for it. You can't do that if you're doing two things at once.
That's great. I'd love to talk to you about some of the people that have helped you over the years. You wrote something interesting recently about career support and talking about the Lean In movement. And you said, I've been helped by men more than women. And you talk a little bit about women you sat with at the table, and you say there are a lot of women who could have helped me, but they chose not to.
And I'm afraid that that still goes on to this day. It was the men, Bill Bolster being one of them, who was the president of CNBC at the time, who really got behind me and wanted me to have my own show and said, Suze, you belong on CNBC. How could you not be on CNBC? And then he left, and a woman came in. I don't even remember her name, to tell you the truth. And all of a sudden, it didn't matter what I was. Everything started to be taken from me. I was off rather than 2 nights a week. I was only on 1 night a week. And it was a fascinating thing to see that start to happen. Women sometimes, not all the time, but women sometimes don't help the way, at least for me, that men stood behind me and helped me. They always said they would help me, but they never really came through. Obviously, Oprah Winfrey came through. The women at QVC came through, but many other women did not.
So do you think that the Lean In movement, the idea of women empowerment around the office, the idea of building mentor groups of women in corporate America is steering people down the wrong path?
No, I think, you know, today is very different than back in 1980 and in the early 90s, where there weren't women in this area, truthfully, and if there was one woman in the area, there wasn't room for two. So there was a different mindset back then. I think what Sheryl Sandberg has done is so extraordinary, I can't tell you. I think to teach women how to be powerful and go for it. You know, we just had the CEO of Microsoft essentially say, women lean back, women stay silent. It will be good karma, you'll be okay. And my interpretation of what Cheryl was saying is women, find your voice, lean in, go for it, and because if you don't go for it, you're not going to get to where you want to go. So you have to lean in, because otherwise, you'll let everybody else pass you by.
When you think about how people who are starting their careers today, how they have so little support from their companies, that you change jobs so many times, you might not have a chance to build up a 401k, that we're in a 1099 economy, you're hopping from one job to the next. Are you nervous at all when you look out and say the future of work looks like X, Y, and Z? How are people going to be able to support themselves? Do you think that people will be fine? What do you think about the kind of financial infrastructure that we have today?
Yeah. I think that your future is made not by the company you work for, but how you work for the company. And while you're at a company, if you're not multitasking and you are giving 100% of yourself, you're able to make money for that period of time. You're able to be covered by a 401k most likely for that period of time. And as long as you take advantage of the tools that are there, you start funding your retirement in your 20s. You don't wait till your 30s. You do everything you can that year. Even if you're going to leave 1 year from now, you can roll that 401k into an IRA rollover. You can keep investing that money. You can keep doing things. So it's a different mindset today. So now, rather than in the past where it was just one road, I'm going to stick on it, each road has to be complete in itself. And you can't wait to start saving and investing for your future when you're here, when you're still over here. So if you start here, no matter where you go, if you keep taking great habits with you, if you start to love saving more than spending, if you only buy your needs, not your wants, if you always live below your means but within your needs, if you did those 3 things wherever you were, little by little, you could save and have so much money. But people have excuses. No, it's all right, I'm not going to be here long enough, so I don't want to do this. And if you're not there long enough to be part of somebody's 401k plan, who cares? Do your own Roth IRA. Do whatever it takes for you to have more so that you can, be more in the end. But I'm not worried about the millennials. I'm not worried about the future of all of you, because you're resilient and you're brilliant and you're innovative and you can work with things and you're really more realistic than the baby boomers were. What I am afraid for the millennials is that they may have to be supporting their parents. Because the baby boomers, their parents aren't realistic, have not been taking good care of their money, in my opinion, and will need far more to be able to retire than they think that they will. So I'm afraid that it may all fall on the millennials, the lack of planning that the boomers have done.
Well, thank you very much. It's been terrific having you here.